My name's Matthew Archer, and we are the Do-Over. Joining me today on the Do-Over is Lexie Wang, and the movies we will be discussing are Blade Runner, Metropolis, Brazil, and Dr. Horrible's sing-along blog. Let's get to it.
I'm kind of nervous when I take tests.
I've got 4 skin jobs walking the streets.
They're either a benefit or a hazard. If they're a benefit, it's not my problem.
I'm Rachel.
Deckard.
Have you ever retired a human by mistake?
No.
I need the old Blade Runner. This is a bad one.
How can it not know what it is?
If only you could see what I've seen.
More human than human is our motto.
What if I go north? Disappear. Would you come after me?
I owe you one, but somebody would.
It's too bad she won't live!
I can see you!
Time to die.
Will you help us? What seems to be the problem? Death. I want more life. An experiment. Nothing more. More human than human is our motto.
So what were your thoughts on the film, Blade Runner?
It's a hard question. How about you think? What do you think?
Personally, I felt as if Blade Runner was a bit lackluster and started off a little too slow for my liking. I think most movies have a scene that usually captures or draws you in within the first 10 to 20 minutes, whereas Blade Runner the opening was kind of pretty slow and dull and dreary. It failed to captivate me, and I suppose as the film kind of went on, I found that the characters themselves didn't really do it either for me.
Yes, I wasn't caught about the film and I just sometimes I just don't understand what who's the characters, whether they are in one group or what's the opposite group or what's in another group. I just
Kind of like defining between the replicants and the humans.
The stories unfold. I can tell Deckard maybe is the kind of detective, and
well, that's very much what his character was. Really, it was the washed up kind of hardened detective character. You know, like I don't want to be doing this type of. In that regard, actually, when the beginning of the film, you know, I think that was kind of the misconception with the whole film, was the fact that he was supposed to be the hero, the protagonist, but he didn't really have any protagonistic traits about him. He was emotionally dull, he was hard, and the kind of only real scene they had to try have him express any emotion was that with Rachel, but even then the romance itself was very forced and almost seemed like it was one-sided, you know. Feelings didn't really convince me that, you know, like, she was genuine in what she felt. Like, I understand she was a replicant, and they're, I guess, not supposed to feel emotion so much as we do.
I'm that kind of a person, like more sentimental films rather than the action.
In that regard, to be fair, I don't even think there was that much action in it, really. Like,
but for me, I think it's action enough.
Oh yeah, true. Everyone's got their different tastes, but like, I have to say, in that regard, I didn't like that finale, that final fight. Like, it didn't really seem like almost Roy was trying. Like, it was almost like he was trying to just get a message across, you know.
I think Roy intended to kill Decker, but I think the death of the woman. So who's the
love
the
interest. I can't remember her name.
Or his lover.
Yeah.
So the death, I think, gave Roy a huge impact about maybe evoke his humanity. Yeah, so he's not really.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I think that leads
want to kill Decker.
Yeah, and I think that really leads on what I was going to say next, where it almost seemed as if Roy was more human, but he was supposed to be the machine.
He didn't appear.
Yeah, well, that's
more
what I mean. Like, emotionally, Deckard was very the same throughout the whole movie almost. He just was the same personality, and you know, I mean, he didn't really, I guess, evolve throughout the course of the film like most protagonists do. Whereas Roy he started off as that kind of mysterious but evil character. But he kind of, in the end, developed, and when you learn his reasoning behind it, and as it wasn't even like he was really trying to kill Deckard. He seemed more human and he had more almost hero qualities than Deckard himself did, and that really threw me off at the end. In the end, I think it was Deckard that let it down. Like, and it's not even I'm saying Harrison Ford's acting was bad, but I think it was just more the character of Deckard himself was just pretty brilliant. But but moving on. Moving on to our next film is Metropolis. Metropolis. What did you think?
As opposed to Blade Runner, Metropolis turned out is very eye-catching to me from the very beginning. Such as the movement of the pictures, the light, and the architecture, such as the city scraper, as the grandeur the pictures show, it just impresses me. So
yeah, I do have to say, like, whilst I'm not really a fan of the film myself, for a film that was made nearly a century ago, the art did impress me, and like, I wouldn't have guessed that was a film from the 1927. Like, I have to say, like, in terms of characters and story, I wasn't really too drawn in. But like, for instance, the character at the beginning, Freda, is it Freda? Yeah. Yeah.
Freda.
Upon seeing him, I almost had a bit of contempt for him. Like, he just seemed a bit too much of a goody two shoes, but at the same time, he was like real naive, and I understand that like they probably had to be, in terms of the acting, a bit over expressive because there was no sound and no words, but it almost just, it was a bit too much for me. Like,
like expressive?
Yeah, like when his father was all like, oh, you know, don't really care about the lower people, and he sits there and he's all like, oh, it's just...
I don't like Freda, the character as well.
Yeah.
It's the makeup in the film is I can tell the film is very it can be called like a pioneering film because
definitely. Like, I have no doubt in my mind that it obviously was a film well before its time. Like, I remember reading online that upon its release, it didn't actually do that well at the box office, considering that I think they spent back then something like $16 million on it, and it was apparently an abysmal flop at the box office. But I genuinely think it was a film for its time, because you can kind of easily almost detract the influences out of it. You know what I mean? Like, I think it went on to inspire a lot of directors, and especially in the genre of dystopian science fiction, I think it was a real kind of crucial development film.
But a lot of things in the film will be proved even decades later, like I think even the makeups, the fashion in the film. So I thought, because I have no idea. Oh, back to almost 100 years ago.
Yeah.
They already got the things accepted even current present day. Like for example, the makeups. You can see from Lady Gaga or Madonna.
I think also too, I think the thing that kind of hit home about the movie was it was all very relatable to today's society. Like, obviously we're not living in a perfect utopia, and the people underneath are slaves, not so dramatic, but you've got the fact of the working class in today's society goes to work simply, and then it's almost just a repeated cycle of just living, working, you know? There's no kind of betterment in that regard, and I think it was just a very deep film that almost can be related across, you know, multiple eras, because it covered a lot of themes like, you know, capitalism and greed and all that kind of stuff. Yeah. And of course you've got the clash of almost like religion and science, or technology, you know what I mean? Like,
the technology and
obviously that's been a big thing. The film,
impressive.
It was impressive in most regards. It was just more the story and characters that I really didn't relate with, I guess. Yeah, I just...
Not really for you.
I'll take a pass. Like, I'll take a pass.
Okay. I just I respect the technology they used, and
like, don't get me wrong.
Not really for the story.
Other than that.
Other than that,
But definitely. Okay. Yeah. So moving on to our next film, Brazil.
Do you wake from your finest fantasy only to return to your daily nightmare?
Mr. Wang! Yes?
Is your mother about to look younger than you do? Does the woman of your dreams
I love you. In my dreams, I love you.
still have a few doubts? Then it's time to take a stand. To break out of your dull, humdrum life and into Brazil.
So, how did you feel? What were your thoughts on Brazil?
It's a comedy drama to me. It's quite funny, and sometimes it's sometimes I even over funny, and it turned out to be ironic.
It's a very dark text. Like the ending, pretty dark. Like especially when it kind of portrayed it out that they were going to live happily ever after in the countryside, having kids or whatever, and all that kind of stuff. And you kind of thought, oh, you know, it's a happy ending for Sam and Jill, and it shows that he's really just gone insane and relapsed into his mind, and Jill's dead, and he's batshit crazy, and it's just, I have to say, it was pretty dark in that regard, and like, I like kind of dark endings, I guess. I don't know what that says about me as a person, but I think the comedy, and it was well placed. Like, it was quirky, but it like, at parts that were seeming like almost too serious, they'd drop a joke in there, and you'd be a bit like, what? And it kind of threw me off a little bit, I guess, but I think it really lightened it up and kind of made the movie a lot more bearable to go through, like, because it was a decently long film. I can't remember how long exactly, but well, I felt like it was a decently long film. But.
And so, not always a dream come true. Yeah.
Oh well, yeah. I suppose that depends on your definition. He got to live in his dreams forever, but that's horrible. As much as it was a comedy, a drama, a dystopian text, it was a love story, and a tragic one, but a love story nonetheless of Sam, who was a individual who was completely comfortable in his life and his job. Everything was just how he liked it. It was a comfortable, you know what I mean? He was happy that way, and it was, things began to throw him off, and with the appearance of, was it Tuttle? Harry Tuttle? Yeah. And then Jill, and everything, and their appearance, you know, their introductions into his life almost kind of starting off in events of a series of unfortunate events, really, that eventually led to his own demise. But I think, as much as I like the film in that regard, that was the one thing I hated, like Sam's almost incompetence, like how he was repeatedly just making things worse for himself as the film progressed onwards. Like, you know, we get that he was in love with Jill and wanted to be with her and trying to make things better for her, but he just took risks. And yeah, I guess this can bring me on to one of the other points I had, was the character Tuttle that they wanted to capture and execute, who was really just like was he an air conditioning maintenance man or something like that? Like, it didn't make sense to me how by him going and performing free air conditioning maintenance on people's apartments, that it warranted criminal arrest. And it was a decent movie. I think tying up those little plot holes for me would have definitely made it a 4 out of 5, 5 out of 5. But
you love it.
Until those inconsistencies are addressed, I'm done. Yeah, I think we should move on to our next one. Dr. Horrible's sing-along blog. So, Dr. Horrible's sing-along blog. What did you think?
I have a lot of questions about it. First, why they do a film on YouTube? Because the cast, the crew, they are famous. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
They are famous, and they
Well,
they would like to put energy on such,
yeah, like
not mainstream.
yeah, well, it is a new media text in that regard. Like, it was published in YouTube, and like from what I've read online actually about it, is that the actual actors themselves weren't paid for the works. They did it for free, and I found that really, really intriguing actually. Like, because I'm told that the actor who played Captain Hammer himself, he actually, as soon as he heard that Joss Whedon was directing it, he was like, yeah, I'll jump in.
Oh.
And and I think it, like, I guess in a sense reflects what Joss Whedon must be like as a director to work for, like for an actor, because that actor was also in Firefly, for an actor to so, you know what I mean, so almost enthusiastically you might be like, yeah, I'll work for you. And I think that's intriguing, like, in that regard. And I think it paid off, because I thought it was, it was, you know, a bit different, but I thought it was really cool.
Yeah, when I reviewed the film from the YouTube, I realized the Mr. Hammer, his smile is so pretending. It's so unreal.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah, but I think that was
reveals. Yeah.
I think that was meant to
character of the.
He was meant to be that.
He's meant to be.
To be that over the top, egotistical. I'm better than everyone. Lift my muscles. Like,
yeah.
But I think the actor did a bloody good job doing.
Yeah.
Like, I was really impressed. Like, I felt like it was pretty good. Like,
like a singer.
I'm not really a musical fan. Like,
not
since I was a kid, but even then.
You know what I mean?
But like, it was enjoyable. It was because what would it be? Drama, comedy?
Yeah.
And it was, it was just, it was refreshing, I guess, to watch, because in comparison to some of the other new media texts we've covered in Film Club, like, obviously it had an experienced director doing it,
exactly.
And I guess that would be the big, the big point.
Yeah, they are experienced.
The big, differentiating point between them, because you got was it Desert Friends, the one that was done by a couple of friends, and
the amateur.
Yeah, the real amateur one on Instagram, and
this one is professional.
Well, this one was like amazingly professional, like TV quality, you know what I mean? But I guess that just goes to show director's experience in that regard, and liked it. Like, the main character, Dr. Horrible. He was good. He was meant to be horrible, but he was actually one of the most likable characters. Yeah, he had quite a bit of adult humor in it, which was pretty good. But like, I thought it was amusing. Like, he's supposed to be this big horrible scientist. He wants to be an evil villain overlord, but like, he's, like, for instance, his interactions with Penny, he's just so, love struck, and like, he's just like, it was a breath of fresh air. I think it was actually a really good text. It had really likable characters, like, you had the egotistical Mr. Hammer, who, if anything, you just laughed at him because of how ridiculous he was with his ego. You had Penny, who was the do-good, you know what I mean, sees the good in everything character, and then you had Dr. Horrible, who's horrible.
He's horrible, and
I genuinely liked it. It was a good text. I think actors were selected well. I think the characters were well written.
They well.
Yeah,
And,
the director itself was good. It was well written stuff. I genuinely liked it.
Yeah, they are very serious about the